Welcome, welcome Style of Play. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, as always, make sure you subscribe, make sure you do all that good stuff. You like the video, you let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're here on the live stream as well, make sure you get involved with the conversation, the discussion, all of those things there. We're going to be talking United today. We're going to be talking Manchester United. You lot are gassed to the nines right now. And rightfully so. You got one of the best managers hopefully coming to Old Trafford in Ruben Amorim. The deal looks like it's almost done. You know, very good deal. We done a live stream, me and Kojo, the other day. The other day we done a live stream and we were speaking about potential candidates. And whilst we were doing that, the news broke through David Ornstein on The Athletic to say that you know, negotiations are ongoing with Manchester United and Sporting over the 10 million euro release clause for Ruben Amorim, which I'm going to be honest, I did not. Obviously, he's on the list. He's going to be on the list of candidates because he's one of the top up and coming managers. You know, 39 years of age, really good manager. But I'll be honest, I didn't really see United jumping very quickly for him. But when I sat back this morning and yesterday and I thought to myself, you know what? I kind of see why United did this, because we know that Pep Guardiola is potentially going to be leaving City at the end of this season. We know that City have the resource, have the whatever, you know, they have it all. They have the stadium, they have the resource, they have the players, they can spend money and go and get all the players they want. So if you're talking about which project at the moment looks more ambitious and is more attractive, you'd probably say Man City's. So I think United have taken a leaf out of the FA's book when they went and got Thomas Tuchel very quickly, you know, snapped him up, got him done for January 2025 for him to start as England manager. I feel like United have done something very similar to try and leapfrog Man City, pinching Amorim away from them, because, you know, obviously the sacking of Erik ten Hag was very quick. They've gone out, they've identified their key man to replace him, and now you've seen the negotiations are happening. There's talk about, you know, United, technical directors and whoever else flying out to Portugal to get the deal finalised, and then hopefully get a release of Amorim, whether that's days or weeks, which we'll talk about. But there's definitely something in it for me that says that United wanted to get this deal done very, very quickly in order to make sure that they didn't lose out on such a good manager, a very quality manager. He's got Sporting playing very good football at the moment. You know, it's no easy thing. I mean, people will frown upon the Portuguese league, but it's still a very good league, very competitive. You look at some of the teams in there, you know, Braga, another one. So, you know, they've got some really good teams in there. I just think that United had to go over quickly and get him, because they know that if they don't, their options are dwindling down. Obviously, they wanted Tuchel, they didn't get him. They want Amorim. They know that City potentially going to be looking for a manager, if not the end of this season, potentially the end of next season as well. So they knew they had to go quick. They had to go quick for him. Now, there's still a lot of talk about whether he's going to be in a dugout. Now, I'm a Chelsea fan, so I'm going to say this with my chest, but I'm speaking for every other non-Man United fan. We wanted Erik ten Hag to stay. We wanted Erik ten Hag to stay in the league. And if we're being honest, you know, I generally did think he would get up until the Chelsea game, Ten Hag, to see out his time at United and try and turn things around. But obviously that meeting that United board members had during the October international break clearly was to do with this. It was clearly to try and see what the likelihood was to get Amorim in Old Trafford. You know, they strike while the iron is hot is what they say, and that's what United have done. So I still think there's a lot of work. I mean, the deal hasn't been finalised yet. There's still a lot of talk going on. The latest, let's try and see if we can find the latest about this on here. Let's try and get this up now. So, according to reports from Portugal, they're saying that Amorim is expected to stay at Sporting for their game this weekend on Friday, but could travel at the weekend. Obviously, the fans there giving a lot of thoughts to him, but I do think, I mean, he did come out in his press conference yesterday. He did look like he was happy. Whatever's going on behind the scenes, he looks like he's happy. I think one of the interviewers asked him, you know, can you confirm, you know, whether you'll be here for the game on Friday? And he was like, yeah. And he just seems like he knows that the deal is done. The deal is done. Let's see if we can find what. I'm sure, if not, David Ornstein should be following this story. Yeah, look, it's saying here. What? Yeah, see, these are the things that, if this is all true, I'm going to read this later on, but he's saying here that Amorim plan after negotiating October Exco, coach contacted in summer, so obviously they contacted him very early on. He was probably on their list when Amorim was talking to West Ham and Liverpool. It clearly looks like he was also in discussions with Manchester United. Ten Hag stayed and wanted Danny Welbeck. Oh my gosh. And that's not a criticism of Danny Welbeck, because he started the season very well, but yeah, Eric's Wall, Rude's role, how players feel. And then this article here, I think that is done by The Athletic, will be an interesting read as well. There's not much on here about Amorim though. I thought there'd be a little bit more. about Amorim, man. But yeah, no, I think let's see what Fabrizio the fraud saying, because he's normally in on these things. He doesn't really miss out on an opportunity to speak up. Yeah, so it kind of goes back to what he said there, you know, willing to pay the 10 million exit clause, which is really good, because if you think about it, you know, for other Portuguese teams and other European teams, the release clause is a lot more than the 10 million euros. I think it's almost double, in some cases triple, especially for the Portuguese teams. If he was to go there, obviously he'd be a direct rival. He'd be going to direct rival if it was another Portuguese team. So, you know, it says here he's already said yes to the project and the proposals. So he's keen on that one. Let's see what Pep says. I think Pep said, you know, the experience against Ruben Sporting was very good. I spoke with Theo Nunes and he spoke highly. This season he's unbeaten, winning all of the games in the league and in the Champions League, has the same points with us. So, you know, obviously he knows that there. What did he say on? We are open to Erik ten Hag visiting us. My time, seriously, always we are open, but I think it's not going to happen. Of course it's not going to happen. Why would he go there? What kind of nonsense is that? What kind of nonsense are we talking about here? We will talk about the Ballon d'Or as well at some point over the next couple of days or so. Here we go. So this is what he said in his press conference. I think what I was alluding to. Ruben Amorim on Manchester United after the game. Nothing to say yet. No announcement to make, he has told the Portuguese press. But he definitely was happy, man. He looked like he was so happy. Now, I do need to talk about this guy, because I did say to Kojo the other day when we done our live stream the other day, Victor Gyökeres, I think will go with... He could go to Manchester United, but he's definitely not going to be staying. I think after this news has come out, I think he'll be looking, for me personally, I think he'll be looking for a move away, Premier League club. You know, he's obviously ex-Coventry City player, so he knows about, you know, English football, but I think he needs to step up in the Premier League, and I think there are going to be suitors in Arsenal, potentially Chelsea. I would probably say as well Manchester United will be at the top of that list to try and get him in, because I think he says there, you know, 16 goals in 15 games for Sporting this season in all comps, so he's a prolific goal scorer. He needs to try and match that in the Premier League, and if he can do that, if Amorim can convince him to go to United, they've got themselves a player there, 110%. But what I want to do as well, because I do think that Amorim has got a massive job on his hands. I really do. I think him coming in is brilliant. It's going to be brilliant. He's going to obviously change certain things from a tactical perspective. You know, he likes to play the three centre-backs, three at the back, and all the rest of it that we know. You know, I know that's kind of thrown the fan base up and down a little bit, but he's someone that when you look at that three at the back, it's not necessarily free. It's not defensively. You know, he plays very attacking football with three centre-backs, and that works because the wing-backs, as I said the other day, you know, are more in the advanced roles, more pushed up the field, and it works. It works. As long, the only thing I will say is I don't think he's got all positions covered to play the football that he's going to want to play, and that is going to take time. That is going to take 2 or 3 seasons, I think, to finally get his squad fully nailed down from goalkeeper to striker. I mean, I'm looking at here now, there's a lot of players that need to go at this United team, a lot of players, and we're going to go through this list now. I personally think some of these players need to go. Lindelof has to go. Well, let's start with the goalkeepers. All 3 goalkeepers, I think, for me, would stay, but I think United need another good quality goalkeeper. Onana is okay, but he's just okay. He's nothing special. There aren't many good goalkeepers out there. There's very few and far between. Liverpool just snapped up probably the last decent one. So they need another goalkeeper. I think Victor Lindelof would go for me. Mazraoui would make the cut for now, but he's on borrowed time. De Ligt would stay. Harry Maguire has to go. Martinez would stay. Malacia, borrowed time. I think he's okay, but he's not the be all and end all. I think he's okay. We haven't seen enough of Lenny Yoro in a United shirt to understand if he's any good. Diego Dalot has to go. He has to go. So he's on the list of cuts. So how many is that so far? Lindelof, Maguire, Dalot. Luke Shaw has to go. Johnny Evans has to go. I'm just looking at some of these first teamers before let's not involve any of the other squad players. But Mason Mount would have to go. There's 5. Christian Eriksen 6 have to go. Fernandes on borrowed time. Casemiro, I'd let him go. That's 7. Ugarte, I'd keep. Mainu, I'd keep. Collier, I'd keep. And Gore, I'd keep. Højlund, I'd keep. Rashford has to go. That's 8. Xerxes, you have to keep. Ahmad, you'd keep in him. Garnacho, borrowed time, let's be honest. Anthony has to go. There's 9. And Jadon Sancho, we know he's going anyway because he's moving to Chelsea. So there's 9 players. 9 players that have to leave that United squad. They have to leave that United squad. If Amorim is going to be the guy to take this team forward, they have to go. That team has to go. That the players have to go out of that team because they're not good enough. They're not for what Amorim's going to want to do. That squad, they are not good enough. Now that is for me the be all and end all. I don't think United will be able to successfully do all that and be able to get as much. Get all those players that they want out of the club and get them all in, get replacements in one season. I think that's going to take maybe 2 or 3 summer transfers as well. Not even like just the winter ones, the summer transfer windows. So this is going to be a gradual, transitional change for United. Now, United fans have to be patient for that. They have to be patient for that because at the end of the day, like this is going to be one of those things that if they believe in the projects, they believe in the manager, there's going to be moments in Amorim's time at United, especially early on, that are going to go south very quickly. He might get thumped 4-0 by a team, but that's because I think at the moment the players are just not there. The quality of players that he needs, and some of them might be the likes of Fernandes. Now that you've got someone like Amorim coming in, you might be able to work a bit better with him. The likes of Rashford, we got to see what he was like a couple of seasons ago. He was in his best form of his United career. So there's moments in there. But I look at like the Maguires, Johnny Evans. I look at Anthony. They've got to go, regardless. They've got to go. Eriksen has to go now. Casemiro, for me, would have to go. Those players have to leave this club in the summer. In order to progress this club, they have to be moved on. Because what will happen if they stay is come... this time in a year's time, if they're still there, or 2 years from now, and we're still talking about Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans, Amorim's going to be in the same boat as Ten Hag. So there has to be structural change at this club from top to bottom. Players have to go. The manager has to be trusted. He has to be given. It's going to sound crazy because they just spent 200 million in the summer with Erik Ten Hag, but they have to give him the money to bring in the right players that he wants to bring in. Because Amorim's going to want a list of players that he's probably already earmarked for what he wants. If it's true what they're saying in the reports that they've been talking to him since the summer, United, he'll have looked at some of the things at United and thought, you know what, we need to address the left back situation. We need to address the right back situation. We need to address the right wing situation. Anthony is non-existent. So he's already probably collating a small list of players that he wants, a little wish list of players that he wants to bring at Old Trafford. He has to be given the time to do that. And I think he will get the time, but he needs to be given the patience from the fans to do that as well. Because I think a lot of modern day football fans at the moment are expecting instant success. Chelsea do that, and sometimes that does work. Looking at Arne Slot at the moment, but we're talking about 2 different scenarios here. Klopp leaving a well-oiled machine in Liverpool squad and United squad that has never really been relaxed and efficient enough to be able to sustain changing managers and, you know, consistent run of games. That hasn't happened for so long at United. So I think there has to be patience and time for this manager to get it right. It's going to could take 3 years, could take 3 seasons for him to do that, but you have to give him the resources to do it. Because Amorim, if you've watched any of the games in the Champions League for Sporting, or if you've just tuned into Portuguese football, or you're into Portuguese football, you'll know that he plays really good football. Attractive, attacking football. It isn't because it's free at the back, it's very defensive and parking out. It's not that at all. You know, he gets forward at every given opportunity. The team plays well for him. You know, it needs a new lease of life. It needs a new direction at United. It needs it, and I wouldn't be surprised if this whole talk about that whole sort of Sir Alex Ferguson role being changed and all that, for whatever his role was at the time, being changed. I wouldn't be surprised if all these things that have been happening over the last couple of weeks at United, with Sir Alex Ferguson's role sort of changing slightly, and the meeting that took place, and all these things have been built up for this. Because it feels like the way that United have gone out to go and get Amorim, I said it the other day, this almost feels like the Graham Potter situation at Chelsea, where, you know, we sat Tuchel, and before I got home, we were already in talks with agreement of talking about backroom staff with Potter. So this feels very similar. You know, I heard this morning that there's talk about, you know, the backroom staff for Amorim. They're negotiating the deals for them as well to bring them over. I think this deal will be done I'd say by Monday. I think by Monday. I'd say maybe they want to get, out of respect for Sporting as well, they want to let them get their Friday game. I think they play on Friday. They want Sporting to get their game out of the way first, and then maybe you look at announcing it maybe either just before the Chelsea game on the Sunday, or you do it after the Chelsea game on Sunday as well. So there's going to be there's going to be, for me, the opportunity for him to come into this team, and he has to do he has to be given the time. He has to be given the time. Now, whether he's in the dugout on Sunday at Old Trafford, you know, Ruben van Nistelrooy still has a job to do tonight against Leicester. He has a job to do against Chelsea on Sunday if he's still in the dugout as interim. But I think this is a really good appointment for United. I think this will be the appointment that will hopefully, well, from a United perspective, hopefully steer them in the right direction, because, you know, this is what the fans have been crying out for. They wanted someone else to come in. So as fans, you got to be patient with him, because I feel like it isn't going to happen overnight. You know, Ianos coming in, they haven't got everything right so far, but they look like they're slowly doing things right. And like I said, I feel like this appointment, why it's happened so quick, is because there aren't that many good managers out there. There's not many, and when I say good, I don't mean the Ancelottis and the Jose's, because they're good managers. They're top class, world class. Well, Ancelotti still is, but they're not going to come to United now. Their time as sort of that whole Ancelotti, you know, Jose, Conte, I don't think we'd ever see them at Manchester United. Even maybe the last of that is like Thomas Tuchel, but now you've got the likes of Amorim. Now you've got like Maresca, Thomas Frank, Graham Potter. Those are the sort of managers I think that you're going to see in that merry-go-round rotation, especially in the Premier League, getting jobs. I don't think we'll see the likes of Ancelotti or Conte back in the Premier League. I really don't. So Amorim, like I said, 39 years of age, very good appointment from United. I feel like they've done what they needed to do in terms of bringing someone in that has the quality, that's proven in a league that is still very competitive in Portugal. My thing for United, and if I was a United fan, the only thing that would really worry me is the patience of the fans and making sure that Amorim is given the resources and the time to get rid of the players. The 9 players that I just listed, they have to be gone by the summer. By the summer of 2026, they have to be gone. They have to be. If they're still there, if we're still talking about Casemiro, Harry Maguire, Anthony, Rashford, all of those players still in 2026, then unfortunately, we'll probably still be sat here and I'll still be talking about another manager who has been relieved of his duties and we'll be talking about someone else, because if he doesn't get the backing fully of the board, it ain't going to work. It isn't going to work. So it doesn't even matter who you bring in. And that's the reality of it. That's the reality of the situation. But we're wrapping up there. It was only a short live stream. Anyone who's been tuned into the live, appreciate it. Anyone who is listening after the live stream, both of you, make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure you like the video. Leave your thoughts in the comments as well. Is Ruben Amorim the guy for Manchester United? Out of all the other candidates that they potentially were linked with, is he the best option out of those candidates as well? And let me know about the players that you think should leave Manchester United in order for Amorim to be successful at Old Trafford. And the last question is, do you see him in the dugout on Sunday? Let me know what you think. Should he be in the dugout for Chelsea's game? Let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video. I'm done. I'm out. Enjoy the rest of your day.